Hello and welcome back to the Final Whistle podcast. My name is Harry McBain, and this week we are speaking to an international and Commonwealth boxer, Isaac Lowe, about his club, Newcastle United. Thank you for coming on, Isaac. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's good. It'll be better than the weather at the minute in time. Very wet.
Now, can you tell us, obviously, about your first memories as a Newcastle fan?
Yeah, it's been really all my family supported them. Obviously, I live down in Lancaster, a bit away from them, but it's been a family tradition really. I've always followed. Obviously, when you'd have your father sports, usually you follow suit, don't you? So it's been like that really.
And how often pre-COVID, obviously busy schedules and everything, did you manage to get down to match days often, or is it more watching it through the telly?
Yeah, most watch through the telly, to be honest. Obviously, we're about 130, 140 miles. When I do get a chance, or when I'm not in training, when I do get a chance to go down, I do try and get down. The atmosphere's there. When the fans are in, I think it's the best atmosphere ground in the country by far.
And which games are the best? Would you prefer watching, obviously, games against the bigger clubs or more games against, like, Sunderland, the rivals?
Yeah, the rival games is always good, obviously, because there's that tense fear in it. You know what I mean? It's a big game. There's more on the line. It's not just the win; it's the passion. It's everything in it. So, yeah, obviously the big clubs are good because you're the underdogs and you want to do the upsets. But I don't think there's no work better than a good derby.
Mm. Now, obviously, the manager at the moment is Steve Bruce. What do you make of him? They're 14th in the table. Is he the right man to, get them a bit higher up the table?
At first, when he first got appointed, I wasn't too keen on him. Which I think 90% of the fans wasn't, to get rid of Rafa and bring him in was obviously I think was a silly move. But to be fair to Bruce, he hasn't done a bad job. He got us stable a little bit last year. Do you know what I mean? We started the season all right. We've had a couple of hiccups, the last couple of results, but yeah, at the minute in time for the situation what the club is, he's holding it together and keeping us all right. So you can't really fault him at the minute.
Now, the recruitment over the summer was quite good compared to recent seasons. Obviously, got like Callum Wilson in and Ryan Fraser. How happy are you with those signings?
Yeah, I think Callum Wilson was a good signing. He's a good striker. He done well for Bournemouth. He knows how to finish. Yeah, I think we've had a couple of good signings in, but I still think for Newcastle, sort of where we want to be and we all expect them to be, we do need to buy a bit more players and quality players to bring them in to help us get up there.
Now, up top, obviously, there's Callum Wilson. In the last match, the other striker up there was Alan St Maximan. Both very good players. Do you think that after they've got a bit of time working together, that some of the other teams in the Premier League, should be scared of them up top?
Yeah, definitely. There's speed, there's power. They've got a bit of everything up front. You know what I mean? Once they start getting blending them with each other and learning how each other plays and one's running off, I said, they've got the speed up there, they've got the power up there. So, yeah, I think they'll be a threat.
And obviously, this season, very different without the fans there. How do you think the season will go?
I think it's one of them seasons where, with no fans, it's not the same. I think even the big clubs that you look at now are like, one's winning, one's losing. It's something now. It could be one of them leagues where, like, when Leicester won, it could be anyone's this year. I think for the top clubs, so I think for all the players with the fans out there, like, I'm not saying that they slack off, but they're not under pressure as much. If there's someone on them or there's always got that man on show, and you got the 11th, the 12th man, should say, aren't they?
Mm.
So I think it is the players do slack. Not say slack, but they're not up for it as much as they usually are. But for Newcastle this year, finishing the top 10 would be good for us, I'd imagine. So, do you know what I mean? The top half of the table for the situation where we are, and that. Yes, I think if we finish 8th or something, 9th, I don't think Bruce will be doing that bad of a job. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, once we try and get that big idiot out at the top, things will start looking upwards.
Now, that was one of my next questions. Obviously, Mike Ashley got the club in 2007. Still around. Not many fans aren't too happy about that. What are your thoughts about him and his ownership?
He just doesn't care about the club, doesn't he? Doesn't give a shit. All right, he brung us back he bought us and he obviously paid everything up. We're out of debt and all that. Yeah, he done that good, but I can't understand him. If he just puts some money in the club, obviously, then we get better. He gets more money. He gets us up higher at the table. Higher the table we finish, the more money goes in his pocket, and it puts more value on the club. But I just don't really understand why he just doesn't care. He's draining every single penny out of the club. You know what I mean? Doesn't care. Won't give them. How do we expect to get better if he won't give us no financial money wise to buy the quality? All right, he might give us the odd couple of years. He might spend 20 or 30 million on a player if we do. But that's not enough for Newcastle United. We need 4 or 5 good players in. Do you know what I mean? We need to be spending 100 million plus. Do you know what I mean? I know it's 100 million plus, but he's got the money. He needs to try and do something with it. Do you know what I mean? He just doesn't care. He doesn't really give a shit with getting all the money, putting in his pocket, and that's it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and over the summer there was the whole Saudi takeover group attempt. What was your initial reaction when you saw that news?
Didn't believe it. Any takeover that comes into Newcastle United, I don't believe till it's done. How many times have we all heard, oh, this big great billionaire, the richest man in the country, the richest man in the world, the Arabs. They've been bought by the Arabs for the last 4 or 5 seasons, but for some reason they never do go through. So listen, I can't understand. They wanted 300 million. I think they agreed. Did they agree on the 300 million mark, or was it the 280 or something like that? They agreed to sell and never went through. I just think Ashley does all this myself just to try and spook the value upon the club and make out it's going to buy. Try and think for someone to come in, or he does it for a publicity stunt just to put it all in the papers because if someone's going to buy somewhere. It doesn't take you 4 or 5 times to buy it, especially if you're the richest people in the world. I think they can get it over the line. But sooner he goes out, the better. And sooner he goes, the better Newcastle will become.
And now, the previous season, 2017, Newcastle got promoted from the Championship, but at the same time, Sunderland got relegated. Surely that would have given an extra boost to the promotion celebrations by the fans.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, winning, coming back up, and obviously seeing your rivals getting relegated, it makes it a little bit sweeter. But also, it does obviously see them going down, but you miss the derby days, and obviously derby days, everyone loves the derby day, do you know what I mean? So getting relegated, yeah, it's the buzz and all that, but you do, for them to go down, you miss 2 cracking games of the season, do you know what I mean? But obviously, I'd rather them being down in the bottom tier than playing us anyhow.
Now, so over recent seasons, there have been a few Newcastle managers. Some have done better jobs than others. Who do you think has been the worst in recent years? Do you think it might be Steve McLaren? Didn't have a great time at the club.
Yeah, Steve McLaren was very bad money, but I've always said, what was the Dutch manager called? Roel Hullet, was it? Roel Hullet?
Yeah.
He was dreadful. He was dreadful when he was at Newcastle. So yeah, it'd be pretty out of them too. I'll probably go Roel Hullet. I think he was disgraceful when he was at the club. But Steve McLaren is he's got to be up there, hasn't he?
Now, there's another manager they had during this time. It was only for a little bit, but Alan Shearer was in charge. Obviously, gone from club legend to got managing. It didn't really work out for him. What was your thoughts at the time when he was put in charge? Would you rather have just left him alone as a club legend instead of ruining a bit of reputation?
He never lost his reputation. He got chucked in the deep end with 4 games, something left. Newcastle was right at the bottom. They was fighting for their lives. And obviously, the Newcastle man, it's like someone coming to me and sort of saying, I live in Morecambe, saying, can you go and help Morecambe? If you live somewhere and you support someone from a ground-up kid, like probably me, Newcastle, obviously, and you've been there, you know the club inside out, you know the players, you've got everyone's going to have your back. You're going to jump at the opportunity. And if he would have kept Newcastle up, then obviously he'd have probably could have been still been there now. He could have been built and done that better. But sometimes you've got to dare to be great, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? He tried his best for the 4 remaining games. It wasn't enough, but I can assure you, he's got the qualities to come back and try it again. And I think everyone in the North East will give him a second chance. I don't think it was on his behalf.
Now, in 2010, Alan Pardew was appointed. He got a 5.5-year deal in 2010, obviously got a 5th place finish in 2012 and got given an 8-year contract, which finished this year, even though he was only sacked in 2014. What were your thoughts at the time when the club gave him an 8-year contract?
That was just Mike Ashley being a dick, basically, wasn't it? Obviously, why would you give someone an 8-year contract? Well, perfect for Alan Pardew, wasn't it? Got sacked, got paid. Wow, whipped you whip, got paid 8 year, 5-year bonus fee for nothing. Yeah, it was just silly, really. It was madness. When they probably come to him with the contract, he must have been laughing at his feet for this is the blessing in the sky. I don't know how he would man. I don't even think they're top managers now to this day, the best of the best. Get 8-year contract. You know what I mean? So it was just a silly move. It was just one of Ashley's stupid moves again.
And another manager that was it had quite a good spell, Rafa Benitez. He was fan favourite between 16 and 2019. What was your opinion on him?
Yeah, it was very good for the club. It was very good for the best of players. Listen, he's one of the best managers in the world, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's test and proven, isn't he? I don't understand how they're never given. I would like they're never given the money. Like you're saying, when you've got that kind of quality of a manager in front of your team, and for what state with Newcastle, he's got the money to pass him. Only what he asked was for some money to buy some decent players and try and build us up the table and try and get us better than what we was. How do you expect that kind of manager to work with the players or what? He had no disrespect to the players, but how with no funds, how do you work loaning players in, loaning and loaning and loaning? It doesn't work like that, do you know what I mean? And when you've got world-class managers, you need to give them world-class funds and world-class support, do you know what I mean? But it was a shame to see him go. He loved the club. The fans loved him. It was great. And we'd love to see him back, definitely. I think we'd have him back in a heartbeat. But I don't think he will come back or to that idiot gone from upstairs.
Yeah, definitely. So it might have been wait a bit until Ashley tries and actually sells the club. Now you're quite a stable Premier League side now after a bit of yo-yoing between the Championship and a few previous years. And one of the things that's been brought into the Premier League over recent seasons, VAR. Do you think it should stay in the Premier League, or do you think it's just a waste of time?
Just bollocks, if you ask me. Listen, it is good on the getting a goal if it is a mile across the line, but I just think it takes too long to fucking do things. You know what I mean? It's like a goal isn't a goal. Stop. If it's a free kick, it's not a free kick. All right, then for bad tackles or for a penalty, so yeah, fair enough. But not every 2 bloody seconds. You know what I mean? Everything it's ruining the game. It's two stop, and then up the stairs with the post. Have you seen some of the games over the recent weeks about the penalties and that would look like they're supposed to be giving them a second opinion. The referee, they're supposed to get it 100% right, and they're clearly not. Do you know what I mean? I think it's all bonkers. If you ask me, I think it's a shamble.
Do you think maybe it should stay if they refine the rules? Obviously, the offside rules, the big one that's crazy about, like your kneecap being offside or something.
Yeah, it's football. Do you know what I mean? Please, it's hard. Obviously, yeah, if you're a mile offside or a foot in front of the defender, yeah, clearly you're offside. Do you know what I mean? But imagine you're a striker. Do you know what I mean? The ball's coming through, boom, you're there. If your toenail's over the line, you can't mark that off offside. Surely, do you know what I mean? It's the name of the game. It's the way we play it. Do you know what I mean? And then like you score, then you have to stop. Like the adrenaline rush stops. Everyone's like, oh, it's a goal, yeah, yeah. Then it's like stop. What? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think. Listen, it is good in one way, but as you said, maybe they have to stop it, keep it in, but re-change the moon or the new laws and what the laws that they've got for it. Like it's a little bit offside, and the referee gives it play on. That's it. It's a goal. Stand. That's what it stands. It's a margin off light, offside or whatever. Then surely they can't stop the game and all that for that. It's like every 2 minutes to stop and start.
And as you said there earlier, that St James Park was a great ground when it's got all the fans in. How important is it that the fans are allowed back in now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Got to get back in, aren't there? I can't understand it really. Like you likes at St James's Park, what is it, 56, 55,000 or something? Old Trafford, 74,000. all these big stadiums, even the low stadiums, you go down Bournemouth, 15, 16,000, 20,000, whatever it is. Surely to God, they can make a health and safety room like St James Park, 20,000, 15,000. United since something like 26,000 I heard the other day. Should have got they can space all these fans out and them stadium, get some kind of fans in. Do you know what I mean? I think they've got the sooner the better. Do you know what I mean? Because this disease, by the looks of things, not going nowhere anytime soon. It's just like everything's come to a standstill. It's not just the football world; it's everything in it. Even for me in the boxing world, it's awful, and we all need the fans back from in every sport. And we need to try and move on, going on forward.
Mm. And finally, if you could sit down and say one thing to Mike Ashley, what would it be and why?
Fuck off.
Fair enough. Thank you, Isaac. It's been brilliant talking to you. That's all we have time for. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. That was The Final Whistle.